part 5 of the mid-season softball featured series has center fielder Grace Cheleman sitting down with us and having ourselves a good old time for the next 20, 30 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really interested to hear what Grace has to say because, well, as we've learned, you've seen a thing or two around here being a part of this Herd softball team. We want to know what's kind of special about this 2023 squad, what makes Grace Cheleman tick, and all that good stuff. So first, let me start by saying thanks for sitting down with us and letting us into your world a little bit.
I love this. I think this is so cool. I've never been on anything like this before.
Well, okay, first of all, that's a shame. Second of all, we can make this happen more often because why the heck not, right? We love having you guys on the show. We love having our athletes, our coaches. We just love talking to you, and we know that our fans love hearing it. The good part about Russ and I is that we don't have – this is our show. We don't have bosses that tell us, no, you can't have Grace Cheleman on again. So we can do whatever the hell we want to do. So we're going to have a good time. So the biggest question – well, let me back up. Before we get started, let me run down some stats because they're pretty impressive. And then I've got the big question. I'm going to come out of the gate firing. What's that?
So this is news. This is news to me. I've never looked at my stats.
Well, that lets me into the mind of a player already. You don't pay attention to your own stats, which tells me you're just concerned with performing that day, and I appreciate that. 2022, Grace, 296 batting average, 42 total hits, 10 extra base hits, 1 home run, and boy, oh boy, was it a big one. 18 RBIs on the year, tied for first on the team last year with 8 steals. And we've seen that number kind of go up as a team this year. A fielding percentage of .950. So you take care of the softball, win on defense, all that through 50 games. So far through 34 games in 2023. Are you ready for this? Another one that has the batting average up over 100 points. Batting .408 currently with 40 hits, nearly the entire season's total from last year. 17 extra base hits, nearly double that from the entire season last season. 6 home runs already, 6 times the total from last year and counting. And 36 RBIs, double the total from last year. 16 steals already in 2023, double the total from last year. And better fielding percentage too, .971, taking even better care of the softball in 2023. Okay, maybe this first question is a 2-part question. It's always coming out the same way too. What the hell has happened that made you perform at an even higher level from 2022 to 2023?
So I don't think that it's anything that I necessarily changed. I mean, I definitely went into this year knowing that it was my very last year that I get to do this for Marshall and maybe for the rest of my life. So I kind of wanted to lock in some personal goals that I have for this season, and I wrote them down on my mirror, and I worked really, really hard. I had surgery in October on my knee. It was a slight surgery, but I'd never had surgery before. Sure. So when that happened, I was like, well, now I have to work even harder because there's no way that I'm not going to play this season. Like, I want to play this last season. Like, I don't want to sit out. I don't want to miss anything. Like, I want to take everything in and enjoy this last part of my life. And so I think that kind of just pushed me over the edge to kind of just want to go crazy a little bit. I mean, why not, This is the last year I get to do it, so I might as well try and surprise myself while I still have the time.
You were kind of the catalyst, at least for us on the ThunderCast, from the end of last season to what we thought this 2023 team may look like, because we know it's a different roster makeup. The gameplay, the style is different from 2022 to 2023. Relied so heavily on the home run ball last year, and it's not really the case. We're seeing them this year. We just don't have to rely on them, right? But I think the catalyst this year, or in the offseason for us, was when you made the announcement that you were coming back, and you put out this great video and this great statement. And Russ and I kind of looked at each other and were like, okay, so this is the beginnings of what the softball team may look like. We're going to get Grace back. That's going to be a big part of what we're going to hope to see. And we knew we had some other pieces, right? Sid was coming back, and
Right.
Autumn was going to be back, and there was going to be a good little nucleus. But you couldn't deny the fact that there was some big time production leaving the lineup, right? Either by exhaustion of eligibility or otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
So what was it, Gracie, when you end the season and it ends the way it ends, however it ends, and however you felt about that? What made you go, I'm not done. I got to come back for one more year. I'm not done.
Well, given my honestly, it's Coach Smith. Like I will say this until my last day on earth. Like she is the best coach that I have ever had in softball, I think, ever. And I've been with some great coaches, but the way that she cares about us more than caring about us from an athlete
Mm-hmm.
standpoint, like how she cares about us as a person, how she takes care of us, how she makes sure that our mental health is always like in check and we all do things as a family, and she's huge on our core values.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go anywhere. I mean, there was no thought in my mind of me transferring out or doing any of that. Like, if I'm going to play another year, I'm going to play it here and I'm going to play it for her and with all these amazing girls. Like, it's just so funny because if you ask any of the transfers that have come in here, I'm pretty sure they would all tell you the same exact thing. Like, she is just she makes you fall in love with playing softball again. And I don't know how she does it, but she really does. Like she's just so different in the best way possible. She is the whole reason why I wanted to come back. I would never want to play for anybody other than her ever in college for sure.
Yeah. You
That's
know,
great.
I was curious about that because you talked about I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but we were talking to Autumn earlier, and Autumn's like, in terms of softball, I'm a grandma, right? Because she was talking about how long she's been in college, and so you start talking about
Mhm.
these upperclassmen. You start thinking about it in terms of upperclassmen, and that's what I meant. Like, was there a time where you're like, you know what, man, I've been doing this so long, I don't know if I want to come back. Maybe I'm just
And
ready.
that definitely happens. That definitely happens. Like there was definitely a point where last year, especially, I was like, man, like I don't know if my body can handle another year of going through a whole off season
Hmm.
and all of the weight training and the practices and the 6 a.m. lifts and like I don't know if I can do all that again. But then when your season ends and everything like really kind of sinks in for a second, it's like if I have an opportunity to play one more year, why would I not take that? Like why would I not? Like it's one more year of my life. Then if I didn't, I probably would have regretted it for the rest of my life for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I can dig it.
So last year you batted in a totally different position. This year you're batting cleanup. You've settled into that position behind Autumn. Um, what's that been like for your mindset? What's that been like for your performance? Just tell me about the differences of where that has you.
I mean, honestly, like it doesn't really play too much a big part in my mental. I feel like if I mean anywhere in the lineup, especially in our lineup, is kind of dangerous for the other team. Like you can't really pitch around anybody,
Hmm.
which I like. And moving from a 2 spot to a 4 spot, I don't really think was that big of a difference. I try to not put a lot of pressure on myself in like certain situations like that. And like through the years, I think I've definitely grown in my mental like strength. So that's helped a lot. But yeah, I don't really see a difference of batting two and batting four. I mean, sometimes I really, I hate hitting behind autumn because it's just jack, 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 and I'm like, great autumn, thanks for setting me up real nice here. Like now I get to follow up after that. Like it's crazy, and I love autumn, love her to death. But Yeah, no, I don't really see a big difference in hitting 2 and 4. I kind of just try to stay level headed as much as I can and read the defense and see the situations like that are in front of me and just drive pitches that I can drive.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me, it's a great spot to be in. You're getting a lot of opportunities to make plays because
Mm-hmm.
hitting
Oh
behind
yeah.
hitting behind a top home run hitter in the country has got to afford you a certain amount of luxuries, right? You're like, I'm going to have opportunities to make plays, and more often than not, I just talked about the daggone batting average. It's up over 100 points from last year. You're taking advantage of those opportunities. You're getting on base,
Yeah.
putting runs on the board, and that's huge. So to consider, if you look at it from a certain standpoint, you're like, well, this is a more quote unquote marquee spot to be in. Well, you're taking advantage of those spots. You're taking advantage of those opportunities. That shows definite development as a player, a definite leadership capability. No moment is too big for you. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter
Hmm.
what the score is. It doesn't matter what just happened. It's like, this is the moment right now, and I'm locked into that particular moment. Let me ask you some.
Yes.
Let me ask you something about your preparation for a game. Uh, Again, I
Okay.
like to know how great players tick, what what they think. Um, how do you prepare yourself for a game when it's time to lock in? What do you have a routine? Do you just have something that you have to do? Is it some folks have told me they got to listen to the same music. Some folks say I do this. I like to get to the ballpark early. I like to. What do you do to get prepared for a game?
So usually, like for at home, for series that are at home, I usually wake up an hour before I'm supposed to be at the field, give myself some time to just relax and calm down. I either go to Dunkin' or Starbucks every single morning. It has to be one of the two, whichever one I'm feeling that day. And then I listen to my walk up song, both of them, on my way to the field that whole morning. And then my mom, she's the most superstitious person I have ever met in my whole life. She will text me at the same time every single morning, the same exact thing with the same exact emojis every single morning. So she's on point with my routine, which I love. And then yeah, and then I like to get to the field early so I don't feel rushed or anything. And that's really about it. And then once I get to the field, it's just we're on a schedule from the moment we get to the field, from the moment the game ends. We have a very particular, like, on time, like, this is the time that we get dressed, this is the time that we do video, this is the time that we go out for warm-ups, this is the time that Coach Smith comes in and talks to us. It's very planned out, which I love, and it all fits in what I like to do before games to just really have tunnel vision on this is what we're preparing to do today, nothing else, like no outside things matter. Homework, unfortunately, love all my teachers, I get my homework done, I promise, but like I'm not really thinking about school or really anything else
Mm-hmm.
once we get here, which I like
Do
because I
you,
feel like that's how it's supposed to be, because if you have all those like external factors in, it kind of takes up your headspace for what you're actually getting prepared to do.
You just answered my question. I was about to ask you, do you feel that regimented approach helps takes things off of your plate so that you can focus on truly just what you need to focus on in that moment or for that the next 2 hours or 3 hours?
Oh yeah, a hundred
Yeah.
percent. I feel like a lot of us, especially just athletes in general, from a young age, we were taught like you have to have good time management. Like you have to be able to go to school from 7 to 3 and then get your homework done and then go to practice and then also do extra work and then go to sleep and do it all over again the next day. Like you have to be able to manage your time very well. At least my dad implemented that into me when I was like 12 or 13. So I've kind of been like that my whole life, which is not a bad thing. It's just I
It's
feel
a
like
great
maybe
thing.
just a tiny bit of OCD.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, the time management thing doesn't go away after college and after sports. You have to be really good with your time as you progress into the next chapters of your life. So don't think that's going to go away. And it's really good that you're good at it now, because that will benefit you greatly in the next chapters
Oh
of
yeah.
life.
Part of that regiment that you talked about pre-game is almost at the exact same time you guys do the handshake circle with Corey, and then you do the
Mm-hmm.
pre-game dance and all that. We've talked about with everyone else being locked in and laser focused and everything, but then that is also something that's fun. So how important is it to you to have fun before the game when you're prepping?
Oh yeah, it's probably the most important part because as much as it is serious, like we also have to remember like we play this game because it's fun. Like it's supposed to be fun. So having our little handshakes and getting to like relax for a second and like let loose and just have fun and be in the moment and then do our little dance that we love to do. Like yes, we're still locked in. Yes, we're still having fun, but like that's kind of what my definition of playing a sport would be. Like it's supposed to be serious. You're supposed to be locked in. But if you're not having fun, that seriousness and that locked in turns into kind of like anger and like almost a little bit like negative mental thoughts that start to creep in your head. So I like starting out the game with the handshakes and the dance because it puts all these happy thoughts. You're just so happy, like going into this game, like you're so excited, you're smiling, you're laughing, you're having fun. And it would be completely different if we didn't do that and say we like started the game and we were all just straight faced, mean mugging, just going out there all tensed up, all tight, all stressed. Like it makes a huge difference, and that's one thing that I love about being here. I hope that they never stop doing the handshakes and the line dancing because it's like the best part.
How does it get better though? Every year it's like different versions of the same deal, but they're more intricate, they're more sensational, and just freaking cooler. I mean, the personality on this team is off the daggone charts.
Yeah.
And to have a dude,
Hmm.
look, I love Corey Lyon. I think he's a great dude, but he is an intimidating looking somebody. And then to see this side of
Oh
him
my
that is
gosh.
like the most cut up, he's just super chill. He's built and looks like a grizzly bear, but he's like the coolest guy in the world. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
what the actual hell? You know what I mean? Like he's, I can't imagine having that type of I don't know, image, because once you talk to the
Hmm.
guy, you just know the guy. You felt like you've known him forever.
Yeah.
So, um, that shake, the handshake, but how does it get better? You know what I mean? How do you guys come up with this stuff? Do you
I
plan this? Are
mean,
you guys in the locker room planning like, all right, this is what I'm going to do this year? Or is it just kind of some spur of the moment thing where you're like, that's what I'm going with?
so sometimes it really depends. So I've kept my handshake the same since I got here. Like mine has never changed. Some people's change. It really just depends. Like Coach Line will come up to people and he'll be like, "Hey, like I have a really good idea for like a new handshake. Like how do you think of like what do you think about this? Like maybe we should do this. Like this would be fun." And it's all like it's so funny because if you pay attention, like really pay attention to the handshakes, they fit everybody's personality so well. Like it is so funny. Like Sid's is the swipe. Sir Bubs is my favorite because Bub and her dad and her whole family, like the hunting, like the shooting, like it's just crazy. And then Kaylee has her little Haya karate, like it's just if you really pay attention, like everybody's handshake is so in tune with who they are as people. It's so funny, and we all know them. Like we
Yeah.
all do them as they're happening, which I think is hilarious.
20 years from now, you guys are going to have a reunion, and that's going to happen. You're going to
And we're
pop
just
off
gonna
this.
come be doing all our handshakes.
You're going to have a 60-some-year-old Corey Lyon out there leading the charge. It's going to be so
Oh
cool.
my gosh.
That's going to be so cool.
That would be
Gracie,
so
who's the player on this team that just makes everything look so doggone easy? It's kind of infuriating, actually, that they make it look so damn easy.
There's so many people that
Isn't there,
make
though?
things look so easy that it's so hard to choose from. But I think if I had to narrow it down, I could probably only narrow it down to about, I don't even know. That's such a hard
Roughly
question.
about 17,
Because,
right?
right, roughly 17 people kind of make everything look just a tad bit easy. No. But I would say that, oh gosh, this is I would say that Sydney Bickle. I think Sydney Bickle would have to be my answer here. She makes everything look super easy. She reminds me a lot of Armani Brown from last year with her like fielding and like how smooth her hands are and how quick she is. Like she just makes that look so easy. And then to be a player who can slap for contact, do short game, slap for power, sit and hit home runs, like where like how did you even teach yourself, like how did you prepare yourself to be able to do all of those things? Like that's a lot of
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
like spent on just offense in general, and I think that she definitely makes it just look just so smooth and easy, and she runs so fast. Like she's literally just so fast. Like she also makes triples just look like she's
Yeah.
just jogging. So I mean, there's that. Autumn definitely makes things look really easy. Her swing is so smooth. Cam Hollis, she makes things look so easy over at third. She's probably one of the best third basemen. She reminds me a lot of Blakely Birch from, I think that was 2020 season. I played with Blakely and 2021. But yeah, there's just too many. There's just too many. A lot of people make it look super easy. But if I had to pick one, I think I would go with Sydney Bickle.
Yeah.
That's a
We've
good choice.
we've talked about Sid's game on the podcast, and I don't know. I'm with you. I mean, it's like water. Everything's just fluid and smooth, and you wonder like how.
She's so relaxed.
Yeah.
I know.
So I got
I know.
I wish I knew.
there's a lot of big personalities on this team, and you guys have a lot of fun. So who's the biggest cut up?
Oh gosh. I would say you're talking in terms of like being absolutely hilarious, right?
However you determine it.
Whatever you take from that.
Okay, I'm gonna take it as probably the funniest person on the team, and I'm gonna go with Erica. Erica is absolutely hilarious. The things that she says out of absolutely nowhere is hilarious. Sydney Bickle is also so funny. And one that I bet you would probably never guess, Savannah. So funny. Everybody's always like, my dad, for instance, he's like, oh, Savannah, like, she seems like she's so quiet. Like, does she talk to you guys? Like, whatever. And I'm like, does she talk to us? She's hilarious. She's probably one of the funniest people I know, for sure. And it's because she's so observant, but then anytime she ever says anything or chimes in, it is so funny and nobody's expecting it. So, oh man, I'd probably go with Savannah. Savannah for sure. She's like the sneaky one.
See, these are all conversations we need to have, Russ, because Russ and I have known each other for 25 years, right? We've been friends for a long time. We met at Marshall as freshmen together and all that kind of stuff. We've just been buddies forever. And we have a very similar type personality as far as our humor. Very different as well. So I can enjoy different types of humor. I can appreciate somebody that just kind of has the quips, and then somebody that just has the overall, I don't know, the overall personality of everything they do or everything they say just seems freaking funny. I wish I was that guy. I have my moments, but let's talk about something that is always in the forefront and synonymous with Herd softball and has been for a while. Okay. It's the term Dot magic. It's a thing. It's a real deal. Everybody has their own definition. It means something a little bit different. Some people it means the same thing too. What does dot magic mean to you?
Dot magic to me is just the energy that we feel when we're at home, or at least what I feel when we're at home. Like it is just a completely, obviously, a completely different atmosphere than when we go and travel. Like we're still hype and we're still excited to play and ready to go out there and, play our butts off. But when we're at home, it's so different in the best way. And I think that it's just because we're home. Like we're home and get to play in front of our fans. I think it really is just the energy from the fans, the energy from the moment we all step in the locker room before the game. Um, it's something, man. And the fact that Dot has been at our games, like the past two times that she's been there, has been mind blowing. Like, love her. The legend herself is at our
Yeah.
game, watching at her own field. Like, if that isn't what dot magic actually is,
Pretty boss
I
move.
have no idea. I have no idea what is.
You're like, this is the house that I built, really. It's got my name on the wall. Like, this is.
Literally.
So, fun fact about Dot
Literally.
Hicks. When I was a student at Marshall, I actually had her for class. That's putting a date on myself a little bit. And I'll share this story with you real quick. I had her for badminton class. And I'm thinking, all right, man, this is going to be dope. I'm going to play some like cookout style badminton. This is going to be a breeze. Wrong. It was like Olympic trials badminton. Okay. And I don't even know if they have these anymore, but they used to have skills tests in the activities classes, which meant you had to actually be freaking good at it to get a decent grade. And I wasn't freaking good at it. So Dot Hicks, this is true. We were in the Gulletson gym and we had our badminton net set up and stuff, and it was skills test day. The whole class has to do it, obviously. She goes and puts athletic tape, squares on the floor, across the way. And you have to serve and land it in the square. Like, you had to get good at badminton. Dude, that did not go over well. That was the hardest C I ever had to swallow. Badminton. I got a C in badminton. Thank God I got an A on the written test, or I may have failed badminton. Can you believe that? That is the legend of Dot Hicks. That is a true story.
Yeah,
And
she's intense.
I'm not sure they do the skills test portion of the thing anymore, of those activities classes, but man, I was like, dude, this isn't cool. I got to see because I'm not good at badminton in 9 weeks. Like, I just wanted to play some backyard laid back I'm like, I'm going to wreck the cookouts at home. This is going to be awesome. No, none of that. None of that. So anyway, I bet that is pretty cool.
If that didn't tell you a little bit about KD and how he did in college,
best 6 years of my life.
He took a badminton class. Like I was in advanced trigonometry and all this stuff.
Yeah,
no,
I took badminton, racquetball, weightlifting, yoga. Yoga was a great class. Yeah,
Autumn took yoga last year. She loved it.
It was great. I took it. Okay, I'm telling on myself here. I don't know if we should be telling this stuff, but I'm going to. I took it Thursday nights because I didn't have Friday classes, and I was like, this is how I'm going to wind down before Thursday night parties and a long weekend.
Yep.
That's shameful to admit. That's shameful for me to admit now. But that was literally my mind approach. I thought, yeah, 6:30 class on Thursday night, yoga. I'll be nice and chill for my long weekend of
for the rest of the weekend,
making my grades suffer.
All your studying you did over the weekend.
Yeah, I can't believe this conversation steered into how. Yeah, let's get back on.
You brought it up, man.
I know. God bless. Actually, Grace brought it up by talking about Dot Hicks being in the stands, and then it led to me sucking at badminton, and then Jiminy Christmas. Let's get back on track. This is getting way, way off the rails here. What is super special about this 2023 team versus other teams you've been a part of? What's different? A lot is the same, but what's a little bit different makes this one a little added special? And then kind of what's the goal for the rest of the year?
I honestly, this has been a hard question for me to answer just because I have loved all of the past 3 teams I've been a part of here. Like I've loved all of them so much, and like I have I still talk to a lot of them on the daily. So, but I would say that this year, I think we all just mesh really well. Like we all get along very, very well on and off the field, which I think is super important. Like Coach Smith emphasizes, you don't have to be best friends off the field, but when you get here, that is your sister. Like
Mm-hmm.
you guys play as a family, like this is your family. And I think that this year we've really taken that on the field and off the field. Everybody is on board with the plan, which helps a lot. Everybody is willing to work. Um, yeah, I think honestly, like team chemistry, I would have to say is probably the biggest thing that I can really pinpoint. Not to say that like our team chemistry has ever been like super bad or anything. Just this year, I think it's just a little more different in a good way, and we get along really well. Like it's crazy to explain, um, but yeah, I think team chemistry is probably the biggest factor. The fact that we all want to play for the person to our left and to our right, and that we all want to win a Sun Belt championship, that we want to go to a regional, that we want to make it to a super regional, and we're just taking it one game at a time. It's crazy, but I love it. It's something I don't think I've ever been a part of a team, probably the whole time that I've been playing softball, that we have all just meshed so well. Like there are genuinely like no, like we don't really have any issues, which is I love. And with playing in women's sports, being in a room with 18 plus girls 24/7 from August to June, there's just bound to be some issues, but we haven't had any, which I love. Like our team chemistry is really just there. It's just we all just want to play for each other, for sure.
So is the ultimate goal, so, in your mind, to you? I don't want you speaking for everybody, but to you, is it Sunbelt title or bust, or is it just like, no, we're going to do the one game approach, and where we fall, but we want to win them all if we can?
So like it's kind of a mixture of both of those. So like our end goal is win a Sun Belt
Mm-hmm.
championship. Our day-to-day goal is to get 1% better than the day before. So yes, to both of your questions. Yes, we want to win a Sun Belt championship, and that is our end goal. But also, yes, we take it one game at a time, because there's no way that we're even going to make it to get to a Sun Belt championship if we don't take it one game at a time.
Yeah, I can dig that. I can dig
Can't
that.
look too far into the future.
I can dig that. Now, look, I've asked this question to everybody else, and I gave you a little bit of a teaser about it going in. And who's the most clutch player on this team?
That question just made me so nervous I could throw up.
We're not picking fights here. I mean,
you can throw up. We'll edit that out.
I would have to go with. I would have to go with Autumn. I think Autumn is a very clutch player. I think she's very versatile. I think that there's a reason why people want to pitch around her, and if she wasn't a clutch player, they wouldn't do
True.
that for a
Fair.
reason.
Mhm.
I think that her mindset is like championship level, like mindset for sure. And it's such a hard question to answer, because I really honestly think that all of the players on our team that come in off the bench, or literally just like anywhere in the lineup, every single one of them are clutch players. Uh, I mean, Cam, for instance, hits that home run when we played Southern Miss. That just
Mm-hmm.
like put us up ahead in the game. Like that was super clutch. I mean, we were in. That's kind of like a very stressful situation, whether or not we show it or not. Like I definitely was just a little bit stressed. Like I know we had a 1-0 lead, but that just like isn't enough. Like we need those extra runs. So for her to come up like that in that situation, for her first home run ever in college, like you couldn't have asked
Yeah.
for in her hometown. Like you
Yeah.
just couldn't have asked for a better like scenario. So it's really hard for me to pick a clutch like just one, but I think I would have to go with Autumn or Cam just because they both really get the job done. And like I said, like their mindsets are just like championship level, like whatever they have to do to win, like they will do. They will run through a brick wall for this team. So that's a tough one for sure.
Russ, you got
For
anything
sure.
left for Grace before I turn the mic over to her?
Yeah, we talked to everybody else about kind of what this family means with your coaches and with your uh, players and stuff like that. But could you put that into your thoughts about this being a family? You've played on a lot of teams, you know, a lot of teams under the same coach here, but this particular team, is it more of a family than any of the others? Is that what makes it special? You've said that you guys all get along, but just put me in your mindset about this being family.
So from my own personal perspective, I think that this year because of our team chemistry, exactly how you said, like we all get along so well. Like I've always felt like these girls in past seasons, especially, like this was my family, this was my home. Like Coach Smith is my mom away from home, Coach Line is my dad away from home. Like these are all my sisters. Like, but for this year in particular, I would have to go ahead and say, yeah, our team chemistry and the way that we get along, the way that I could literally call any single person on this team at 3 o'clock in the morning if I had a flat tire on the side of the road and all of them would answer the phone, probably says a lot. Um, I mean, we all just like there's no distinguished groups of people who like hang out or anything like that. Like it's more of just do you all want to go do something? Like, let's all go do something.
Mhm.
Or does anybody want to go do this? Or, and everybody's there. Like, I have 100% faith that all 17 girls in the locker room are, like, have my back. I have all of their backs. Like, I know that if I wasn't in a room and they were in a room with somebody who was talking about me, my name would get defended 110%. Um, I know that it's just it makes me like so happy. Um, we just like to have fun and we have so much fun together. And I guess that was like the longest yes to your question ever. But like yes, that is my answer. Like yes, I definitely think that it is how we interact as a team on the field and off the field. Like we also know when to joke around and when it's time to lock in. Like if you ever watch one of our practices, like it's the most constructed chaos ever. Like you have me singing and dancing in center field while we're like in between pitches of an inter squad scrimmage. And then we have like Sydney Bickle and Alex just talking back and forth to each other from shortstop and left field. And it's just like, and then you have me and Cam screaming across the field, talking to each other, like in between practices and like pitches and stuff like that. It's just, it's so not stressful. Like I am not stressed out in any way, shape, or form anytime that I come here, which I think is so nice because it just shows. Like it just shows. Like, and we told the freshmen at the beginning when we got back from winter break, we told them the seniors did. We told them, like this is the time that stuff is gonna like people are gonna start to get on your nerves. Like we're gonna be with each other 100% of every single day, every single weekend, like nonstop. Like you're gonna get annoyed. Like it's going to happen. That hasn't really happened and we're like halfway mark, and I think that that's kind of huge to show that we really do get along, like we're all sisters, like we really are one big happy family. And being a family doesn't necessarily mean being happy 24/7 or having fun 24/7. Like you fight with your mom, you fight with your dad, you fight with your siblings. Like that always comes with it. But that's the best part of family, no matter what, no matter how many fights we get in, no matter how mad I am at you. I always love you. I always have your back, and I always answer the phone when you call. So I think again another long yes, but yes, yes,
If I
yes
didn't know any
too.
better, I'd swear you like doing this sort of thing. Maybe it's just the content that we're talking about here. You just have a passion for your team and your sport and this university. But I think you may have found a
I
hidden
do.
passion that you enjoy speaking about. But let me tell you
Oh
something really
yeah,
cool.
I can talk about them.
Let me
Go
tell you
ahead.
something really
Sorry.
cool about what is going to happen after you are done playing. Because this happens to me, and I never played a sport at Marshall. But when I go back to campus after being gone for a long time, that feeling that you're talking about, that it just feels good, that's never going to go away. It will never go away. 25 years from now, you'll go back down Third Avenue, you'll go to Dot Hicks Field, and you'll catch a game just because you happen to be in town on business, or you make the trip to watch a weekend series, and that this feeling from 2023 is going to come rushing back into you, and you won't be able to explain it, because it happens to me when I get to come back and I walk the sidewalks at campus and I go inside Jones C. Edwards Stadium. It's just like I get transported back to 1997, 1999, and I'm 19 years old in my head again, and I start thinking about all these great times that I had here. That'll never go away. That's really special. So you get that to look forward to. It's not over just because you're done playing.
Oh, I'm
Let me
so excited. I already believe you.
Well, it's true. Russ will attest to that. Anybody you talk to that has a true passion for Marshall, they that feeling is present in all of us. Let me ask you a quick question that I see a lot on social media and I haven't really seen an answer to. What is it that Allie hands you guys when you get to first base? She's just giving you like sunflower seeds or something? Because everybody asks that.
Okay, so before I answer this question, has anybody given you an answer to this question?
No,
You
no, no.
have to
You're
be
the only
honest.
person I asked. You're the only person I asked. So if you choose not to answer, that's fine. But I just figured, well, I see fans asking on the social media timeline, and
Okay, I'll give it up. I'll give it up. I just love seeing what everybody's guesses are. It's so funny. So sometimes it's Skittles, and sometimes it's Starburst, and one time it was gummy bears. But it all started because at the beginning of the season, like very beginning of the season, it was we were having some trouble. We were having some trouble getting things started. Like
mhm.
we finished everything exactly how we wanted to, but like getting that momentum started was just a little bit difficult in the beginning. So Ellie said that if we got to first base, we would get a treat. And so now everybody wants to get to
Yeah.
first base for that Skittle. Everybody. And I'm gonna actually start asking Coach Lyon if he can hold on to some at third, because
Oh.
that could be another incentive
Oh.
for
Maybe there you
lefties
get
to
an
get a
Austin's ice cream or something.
exactly. And I want one of those free frosty coupons from
Yeah,
Wendy's that they hand out to the
Yeah.
fans.
yeah.
Dang. All right.
Maybe
So
we can hold
I
on to
see an
some of those.
opportunity. I see a new opportunity for us to support the softball team, Russ. I guess we're going to have to send like a case of Starburst or something over there to fill Corey's pockets at third base. That's just a little nod to how appreciative we are of this team and what they mean to us. Uh,
Oh, that would
Grace,
be so awesome.
How we like to finish these segments is we quiet down when we turn the microphone over to you and we give you an opportunity, the platform to say whatever you want to say to whoever you want to say it to, fans, coaches, teammates, whatever. We don't care. You can say whatever you want to say. So, and then after you're done, I've got 4 quick hitter questions, and then we'll get you out of here.
Okay. All right. So this is for, I would say, any athlete who watches this podcast who feels like they're in a very difficult situation in their sport, in their mental health, in their life, that they feel like they just have absolutely run out of options, have no idea what to do next. It does get better. It gets a whole lot better. You get a whole lot stronger. When you're faced with a lot of adversity, in the moment, it seems very, very scary, and you seem very unsure about what to do and about decisions that you have to make. But once you start making decisions that are going to make you happy and that are best for yourself, whatever those decisions may be, it starts to get a lot better. You are not alone. There's always going to be somebody that will answer the phone, that will lend an ear, that will lend a shoulder to cry on. And you are not the only one who is going through this right now. And I promise you that probably some of the best athletes in the world have been through the most difficult times in their life while playing the sport that they love. And it could very well be because of the sport that they're playing that makes them feel like that. And that is not abnormal at all. It happens. And I kind of just want to get a message out there that you are not alone. You are so loved. We want you here wherever you are. We want you to stay here and be where you are and be where your feet are. And there are so many resources that can help you and give you more advice, more professional advice on how to handle adversity if you need it. And that's basically kind of just the message I want to get out there, is that like you're never alone. And as bad as it seems right now, you can never have a rainbow without having the rain first. The rainbow is the best part of the storm, and it doesn't happen till it's over. So that's kind of my message for anybody who needs it.
Geez, Grace, that was quite profound. I'm not going to make light.
I had to get it out there.
I'm not going to make light of that because that was very profound.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You know, there are a lot of people that are struggling, and we start to make little strides now, and people every day find out it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
You know, that was really, really profound. That was really profound. I don't know that. I don't know how to react to that. And that was good. That was just good. I'm gonna shut up now.
It's okay. You don't have to react at all.
That was really, I mean, I'm speechless. You made me speechless, which is not an easy thing to do. I was expecting like, I love the herd. Thanks for coming out and watching us play. And you give
love
me
the herd too. Go ahead.
You give me this great message that's going to resonate. Yeah. That will resonate across more than just the fan base here in Huntington. That's going to resonate with other players across the country, of all ages, of all skill levels, in all situations. That is a universal truth that needs heard, and you just delivered that.
We all need to say it, and we all need to hear it.
God, dog, girly, that was awesome.